Dear all, greetings. On behalf of UCAN, very welcome to this session as panel to discuss some current issues around learning cities. Although we have lots of challenges, social, political, economic, I think, universities and people who work through university lifelong learning, we can clearly demonstrate that what we need is not just vision, we also need commitment and engagement in several issues through which we can develop communities of learning with openness and engagement. Thank you so much and have a good event right now.
Thank you, Balázs. We're going to return to some of the thoughts from the very start of the week, and we're going to reflect on different thoughts and different inputs and different ideas that we heard during the week. But just to start, again, we've always taken a little bit of time at the beginning of the sessions to understand who is in the room, the virtual room, and where in the world they are coming from. And I think it has taken a little bit of time each day, but it has been so worthwhile from my perspective, particularly when our time is tight and we don't always get to hear everybody's thoughts or reflections. We really value the idea to have a sense of who you are and where you're from. And today there will be more opportunities to hear your thoughts and your ideas and your inputs. So the format today, we'll do the introductions. And then I'm going to go through the panel members during the week who can join us today and ask them for some of the takeaways that they have had from their own work on preparing their presentations, but also what they heard from other speakers. And then I'm going to ask our colleague in Cork, Joni, to break us up into breakout rooms. So I think 3 rooms, and we will ask everybody on the call today to give some thought to the challenges and the opportunities provided by the Learning City concept, the Learning City network, and this way of thinking. And then we will return in the end to give some opportunities from each of the groups to share with us. But first we do the wake up in the morning one for our good folks in the States who continue to get up in almost the middle of their night in some cases. And Don is with us again at 5 a.m. in the morning. And John and Annalisa at 6, and Susan, I think maybe 7 or 6.
6.
6 as well, yeah, in fairness to you. And so we'll do the round of introductions, and just again, very simply to say your name and which city you're in and what you had for breakfast. So Siobhan is first on my screen. So Siobhan.
Thank you, Dennis. Hello to everyone who I haven't met this week. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to every session, but I did enjoy the ones that I was there for. My name is Siobhan McCarthy, and I'm a colleague of Dennis's, and I manage the Cork Lifelong Learning Festival. And I had 2 slices of toast for my breakfast. Thank you for asking, Dennis.
Joni?
Hi everyone, I'm sure I've met all of you at this stage, but for those who I haven't met, my name is Joni, and I work for the team at Adult Continuing Education in University College Cork, along with Seamus. And for breakfast this morning, I had 2 slices of toast also.
The Cork delegation are going with the toast. Okay, Mary.
Hi everyone, Mary Mahoney from Wolverhampton, and I had muesli with strawberries.
Sounds good. John? I don't know, have you had time for breakfast?
No. John Wooding in Lowell, Massachusetts, who wishes he was still in bed, and I've had no breakfast, but I've had coffee.
Breakfast of the masses. So Susan, 6 a.m.
So I haven't had breakfast yet, but I will in a minute. I'm from Palm City, Florida. I work for Florida Atlantic University in the Adult and Community Education Department. I teach. And I always look forward every morning to my yogurt and granola and strawberries after this call.
Worth waiting for. So Annalisa in the States also 6 a.m.
Good morning, everybody. Ithaca, New York. Annalisa, yes. not awake enough to think about breakfast. Glad to be here.
Thanks, Annalisa. So Christina, those of you that were with us earlier, Christina shared a little bit about the perspective from her home of Vienna. So Christina, do you want to just introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello. I'm Christina Paulus. I'm working at the University of Natural Resources and Life Sciences, and I run the Department for Lifelong Learning. And I had a wonderful paprika and one apple from my own garden for breakfast. Thank you.
Lovely, lovely. Very nice. Next, we have Seamus. I don't know, did he go swimming in the sea today?
No, not today, Dennis. Every second day. So today is my non-swimming in the sea day. But I did go cycling on my bike.
Okay. That's all a shame.
So I'm Seamus from Cork. I'm also a member of the UCAN steering committee, and I've worked very closely with Christina. And I was very moved with what you said, Christina, because I visited Vienna as well, and all the things you say about the city resonate with me. And in fact, when I stayed there for a conference, I stayed in a hotel run by refugees for, so which was a really wonderful intercultural experience. So we're all with you, but I suppose we all share these kind of common concerns right across the globe, as you said yourself. So, and for breakfast, I had some yogurt, some macroom oatmeal, and nobody else had that because that's a rarity. It's a rare dish, some fruit and nuts.
Lovely, thanks Seamus. So Elizabeth, in the States, so what time is it there?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Yeah,
so I'm expecting my award sometime. Somebody's sending me something. Elizabeth Valencia Borger from St. Cloud State University. I am the Community and International Outreach Director in Center for Continuing Studies, and I do. I feel the same for Christina. Christina, I love Vienna. We've been there. My son spent a year there, so my heart goes out for you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Next on my screen, we have Carmel. So Carmel, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, good morning, everybody. I am Carmel Berendi from the Doctoral School of Education in Budapest, ELTE University. And today I made some porridge for breakfast, but I haven't had time to eat it yet. So I think it will be postponed to the afternoon. Okay. And I just wanted to reflect to Christina too, because we are very close to Vienna in Budapest, and I saw it in the news, almost unbelievable. So yeah, fully empathize with you and wish all the best really in Vienna.
Thank you, Carmel.
In this situation.
Yeah. So next on my screen is Ule.
Hello. I'm Ulla from University of Tartu, Estonia, working as head specialist for continuing education. And for lunch, we have already lunchtime over, but for breakfast I had salmon sandwich today.
Oh, very good. Thanks, Ulla. Next, Luca.
Yes, hello. I'm Luka Gaberšek from Ljubljana, Slovenia. And today I had for breakfast bread, butter, and marmalade.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. Thanks, Luca. So Balázs, we've heard a greeting from you, but you didn't tell us what you had for breakfast.
I had just one apple because my father, who was a doctor, always told me 1 apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Very good. Eric from Clermont-Ferrand, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Eric. I'm from Clermont-Ferrand, from France. I had breakfast a long time ago now, because I had breakfast at 6 o'clock, and it's around noon, so I'm about to have lunch. But this morning I had toast and coffee.
Brilliant. Thanks, Eric. Just ask everyone to keep on mute. I think there was a little bit there. So Karma has been with us all week and has really done a brilliant job to keep us all on track. So Karma, do you want to say hello? And
hello. Yes, first of all, I would like to give my love, a big hug to Christina. I love Vienna. I always recommend people to visit this city because for me, it's always a pleasure to be there. I always thought it was the safest city in Europe. And it has to be super sad for Viennese people to see these things happening because it's not usual. So my love to Christina and to all Vienna. And this morning I had a coffee, of course, it's the first thing I do. I put my feet down and I drink a coffee and rhubarb jam on toast.
Sounds nice. I'd like that. So we've some more of the team from UCAN also with us. Francesca?
Yeah, hello. It looks like I'm having issues with my camera today, so sorry if you cannot see me. So also from UCAN team based in Barcelona, this is Francesca, and this morning I had coffee and bread with butter and jam. And I would also like to take this opportunity to send a big, big hug to Christina.
Thank you, Francesca. Absolutely share the same empathy. And Julie, also from UCAN, do you want to say hello and to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. So yeah, I'm Julie from the UCAN team in Barcelona. And for breakfast, I had toast as well.
Toast. I think toast is the majority. I'm going to fast track to my one and say coffee and toast was mine as well. But also from the States, the early risers, Don. Don, do you want to just introduce yourself to everybody?
Good morning, everybody. This is Don Tracy. I'm in Austin, Texas. Yeah, it's fairly early here this morning. For breakfast, well, I'm making a cup of tea right now, and yogurt and granola. And Christina, I'm just now seeing the news here this morning, and I'm very sorry to hear about the incident that has occurred there in Vienna.
Thank you, Don. So Pascal, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Pascal Pachaud from the Joint Continuing Education Foundation of the University of Lausanne and EPFL, which share the same campus in Lausanne on the shore of Lake Geneva. So about this morning, I don't know about you, but I watch the news a lot these days, very early in the morning. The advantage is you have time to cook. So I had toast and scrambled eggs. And all my sympathy goes to Vienna.
Thank you, Pascal. So just rounding up our group this morning, Natalie is with us. So Natalie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi. Oh, hello. Sorry, I've had a bit of a chaotic morning. I've just got back from the garage because my car had a problem with it. So yeah, I'm Natalie Lewis. I work with Mary Mahoney in the Centre for Lifelong Learning at University of Wolverhampton, and I'm the Learning Regions Coordinator for the Wolverhampton City Learning Region Initiative. And were people saying what they had for breakfast?
Yeah, that's what I asked. Just to...
What did I have? I think I had a little bit of chocolate with some toast.
Brilliant. Thank you, Natalie. So our last person joining us today is from the Lifelong Learning Platform. I don't have your name. If you want to just introduce yourself, if that's possible.
Hi, hello, sorry, it's Burkina here from the Lifelong Learning Platform. Do you hear me?
I do indeed. Great to have you with us, Burkina.
Yeah, just showing, here I am.
So where are you based? I think most people know, but just to tell others, where are you located today and what did you have for breakfast? That was what we asked.
Oh, wow, okay. I had some almonds, just that, and water, and a little coffee. And I'm based in Belgium. The organization is based in Belgium. So yeah, now at the moment I'm at the office because I had to sign a lot of papers today. So yeah, but normally we are all working remotely.
Yeah, thank you, Burkina. I suppose a lot of people have shared their empathy with Christina this morning, and I think that's really important to come back to that sense of the person, our common sense of humanity, and the citizen at the center of all our cities and at the center of all our organizations. So I would like to start by asking all of those who gave an input during the week to reflect very briefly now on two things. You all really helped us during the week by preparing and giving thought to and presenting in different ways. So I would like you to think about one learning from your own presentation or one message that you wanted to speak to, and one from one of the other presentations that you heard, any of the other presentations you heard during the week. So on day one, Seamus and I shared the platform, and because I'm focusing on this session, I'm going to ask Seamus to speak to our thoughts. So Seamus, was there one thing from the idea of the Learning City, the Cork case, that you wanted to come back to, and then one thing from any of the other speakers during the week that you thought you would like to focus on again?
Okay, so I suppose from the perspective of Cork, I think the key message from us, from me anyway, I think is the idea of partnership. Everything we do it in partnership, and I think that's in terms of sustainability, in terms of impact, in terms of engagement. Partnership is really, really important, and building partnerships and parity of esteem between partners. These are really, really important aspects of what we do. And I think we live this philosophy. And I think it's the reason why we still manage to all collaborate and cooperate, because we do put the partnership to the front of our minds when we engage with each other.
Thanks, James.
And the one thing, I mean, to be honest, there were 1,000 things, and I got so much from this week from all our colleagues, and really, really appreciate all the inputs, including your own, Dennis, above and beyond the call of duty. But it was just a phrase that Don used. He said, we listened twice. And to me, I said, wow, that's exactly it. And from a university perspective, that's really important. I think more so maybe than other kinds of partners, because universities tend to think they know everything. They know all the answers. They know how to solve problems for people. We know everything. And of course, we're full of smart people, but the rest of the world is full of smart people as well. And it's important to listen, not just once, but to listen twice. And I really, you know, when Don said that, I said, wow, you know, that's exactly the message that I would be giving to us, me as a university person, to say, you know, don't just listen once, listen twice, because I have to admit, I know I talk a lot and I talk too much, and maybe I don't listen enough. So I think that's the message and the lesson that I'm taking from the week.
Thank you so much, James. That's wonderful. Okay, on day two, we looked at the idea of celebration and how celebrating learning in different ways has helped to connect partners and to connect learning cities with universities and with other partners. So Siobhan, do you want to say one key message from your own presentation and one from any of the other inputs you heard?
I'll have to echo what Seamus said about partnership. And as I put together my slideshow for Tuesday's presentation, and thank you for the opportunity to present, I was looking at all those lovely faces, and I think you can translate partnership into friendships as well. Do you know, some of the people who have engaged in the festival over the years, they've become friends, and friends, it's no hassle for friends to work together or to come together. And I feel like part of the strength of the network in Cork and the work that we're doing in Ireland is that we keep working on those networks, we keep working on those friendships, the people keep pulling together. Do you know, I just think there's huge value in that. And one of the friends of our festival is now the president of the country, which is just amazing. In terms of what I got out of the presentation in line with Carmel's work is just looking at how there's a synergy there already in terms of the capital of culture, the status of Petch as a capital of culture, and how culture feeds into their festival. And their amazing numbers, their amazing engagement over such a short amount of time. I was really impressed.
That's great, Siobhan, thank you. So the second presentation on that day was from Carmel. Carmel, do you want to say again one key message from your presentation and one that you took away from the week?
Yes, actually, I was reconfirmed. So my key message is that I would like to, that I realized the importance of this research, how important it is to do further comparative research in this, to raise awareness from the side of the university also. And also, as Shima said, that universities tend to pretend to know that they know everything. And also as an active citizen and a researcher in my double role, I realized the importance of this, to share this message. And this is what I saw in all the other presentations. And it is important to do more and more research to raise awareness. So I cannot really separate the two, being an active citizen and being a researcher of a learning cities at the same time.
Yeah, that's a wonderful concept to take away for us as well. Thank you, Carmel. So on our third day, we looked at the focus on research and its role in strengthening learning cities, and we were joined on the day by UNESCO, and it was wonderful to have them, and they joined us yesterday also. They send their apologies for today. So Mary from the University of Wolverhampton was next on the morning. So Mary, would you like to again look at a key message and a takeaway?
Yes, I think the key message from our perspective as being a city which set up the Learning City initiative as a partnership between the council and the university is that the university can play and academics and researchers can play an absolutely crucial role, and we should never forget that. I absolutely agree with Seamus that often we don't listen well enough, but I think Learning City provides that wonderful opportunity. We act as a catalyst, we raise profile, we bring innovation, and we should never forget the power that our knowledge and our sense making in location can play. I think for me, because I'm sorry, I've hardly been able to attend any of this week, and Natalie has attended on our behalf and will brief me later. I think one of the most telling things that I heard was the UNESCO comment that another 40 cities are joining the network, and I think that's brilliant. So I think this is a growing movement, and it's about understanding learning in place, and it's becoming crucial in a global context, the role of learning, and it's great to hear that so many more cities are joining. So thank you very much, and thanks for the opportunity to participate and to listen and learn myself.
Thank you, Mary. And again, I suppose brings up the sharing of all the presentations that Karma has asked for us to forward to the UCAN team so that they will be available to everybody afterwards. So on the day, Eric, Seamus also spoke on the day from the perspective of the ASM new research network, but Eric also then gave a response to the inputs from UNESCO, Mary and Seamus. So Eric, was there one learning that you brought to your questions and one learning that you gained from hearing from the others?
Well, I think that many things were on that day said about the communities and the complexity of unifying all the different strategies at hand in order to move forward. And I think that that was the key thing for me. I would like to mention also the concept of narratives. I think that we really have to combine our energies to define collectively what it really means, what we really want to say all together. And I think this kind of common message to me is really very important.
Brilliant. Thanks, Eric. And then on our fourth day, we looked at the situation in the United States. And there was a range of perspectives there. And John was first off. So John, was there one learning from your presentation from Lowell? And again, one learning that you took from listening to during the week?
Well, I think the one learning I took from talking about Lowell was the notion of partnership, but also the role that in our city, the local social capital plays in developing this learning city idea. That the role of the university has been less strong there, and I think that I've learned from listening to the rest of you how important that is, and I think we can begin to develop that. On the elections, I think that involved in this week is some hope. I felt very much that the situation in the United States is pretty dire politically. It's also very difficult because we're not in UNESCO, and when this is a new initiative for us to start this for the week, seeing all of you out there and seeing what you've done has given me some hope and some heart. And that's been very important for us, for me personally, to think about how we can proceed. I think one of the things that I saw thinking back was so much, it was so rich, but the importance of the university's role in helping in research within the community, not just promoting learning, but helping in research. And I think that that frame, by doing it through participatory action research, is very important. And lastly, I think that I do this, and I think listening to all of you is because it's not just about making learning cities, it's the knowledge that education and information and thinking is really critical to democracy and a tolerant society. And I think that's why we do this. So it's been great to be here, even though it's so bloody early in the morning, really. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John. And again, all the medals go to the very early risers, but it's been great to share a full week with many of you. I've been able to make most of the sessions this week, and that's been, for me, it's a new network, and I really appreciate the opportunity to connect with the UCAN network from my own perspective in my role in trying to develop Cork as a stronger learning city, to continue learning, but also as a new way to connect with other cities. So on the day after John, Annalisa gave a presentation. So again, just to offer Annalisa some opportunity to go back to a key learning from your own presentation and one thing you learned from someone else.
Thank you, Dennis. These are great questions and I appreciate them. I think in preparing to talk yesterday, what came up for me was creativity within constraints. Regardless of how we're working and how we're situated, we all, I think, are very resourceful in terms of figuring out how to move things along regardless of barriers. And something I'm taking from other presentations, I think on the first day, the picture of, I'm sorry, I forget her name. Was it Joni and the engineering student? I just reminded me how many layers of inclusivity there, how much there is to inclusivity. You know, you think you get a little handle on it and then you go, oh, wait, you know, that's just superficial. Now what's the next step? So I really enjoy, and inclusivity is working on me, how to work more inclusively. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Annalisa, yeah, that young woman's name is Jenny. So yeah, she's one of a number that I've absolutely been inspired by. There are a number who are very active participants in music ensembles, and one of them performed, he led a group with 3 others who are all dealing with profound disabilities. But he has cerebral palsy. Killian is his name. He's able to write music and he is able to perform in a band. He has full functionality within, but he's locked in this body that has these limits. So music has been his way to be part of the world, and he has achieved all of the goals he set for himself. So it has challenged me to, like you say, the layers and the layers that are there, and the people who make that happen, that make the connection, I think they do inspire me and consistently do. Yeah, so Killian would have performed for the UNESCO opening event in Cork in 2017 with 3 others from his own group and a whole mixed group of young people of all ages, different music types as well. So it was just one of the moments I will cherish from that opportunity we had then. So further on the day from the States, we had Don. And Don, again, was there one learning from your presentation and one you got from someone else's?
So in the discussion that I had an opportunity to have with you all yesterday, I mentioned how important it is for us to be empathetic and build empathetic institutions around those and programs around those that we serve. I think, and that's been an ongoing theme in our conversations in our community education work, is how important it is for us to reach people where they are and build bridges to success based upon their goals, not ours. Many of us in education, we have goals for our students to meet, right? But that's not the point. The point is to help individuals meet their goals. And so that's one of the things that I think is extremely important, and it's something that I think about constantly, is how do we build a more empathetic organization here in Central Texas to really meet people where they are. And I was only able to participate this week in yesterday's presentations, but one of the things that I really took away from that is as we sit and think about how we're going to build our programs and how we're going to go out and serve people and all of these other things, there's this wonderful tapestry of resources out in the community that already exists. And as Seamus mentioned a minute ago, if we go out and we do listen twice as much as we talk, it's amazing what you find out there. And I heard that in both of the other presentations, the connections and the resources that are out in the community that can be brought together and leveraged in support of our work. We just have to go out and listen. And there they are.
Thank you, Don. I really appreciate that. Before we close off this section, I would like to ask Balázs. Balázs, as president of UCAN and coming from the UCAN perspective, you have invested in this idea and supported this idea during the week. You're very committed to the Learning City concept and have made it happen in Page. Is there anything in your own inputs during the week, and again, anything you would like to take away as a learning from any of the other presentations?
I think it's a very important situation like now. It's not just an opportunity, but also an important momentum to stop here, to think, to relate what consequences, what lessons for higher education to take further on, because this is a learning journey, and I think these stories behind the week are very important, and they signal not just trends, but also the human value of collecting and sharing knowledge. And I think what UCAN, on behalf of UCAN and some other respected organizations like ULLL, ASEM, Pascal, and many other groups like the Lifelong Learning Platform here in Europe, I think these are opportunities for universities to learn from others, to share with others. And I think the message here resonates that if we found our research orientation, analytical approaches, we can help these learning communities to develop. And through our partnership and networking with our stakeholders as partners, I think we can reach up to a more inclusive and more human-oriented environment, what we call the Learning City. And this is also the time when we show that we are ready to share, we are ready to participate, and I think that's what is today behind. Very important that we try to enter into further partnership, develop in partnership, but also what Don has signaled yesterday, that we must highlight the matter and the problem of resilience in our societies. So I think we are on the one hand global, and on the other hand local matters that are with us. And I think I took these things alongside with my organizations, with our organization in UCAN, and the partnership within and beyond our platform. I think it's a great opportunity to keep Learning Cities as one of the flagship research and development and innovation dimension for our organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Bilash. So a lot of rich reflections, both from the perspective of the presenter and as a learner, each of them as learners. So I'm going to take a similar approach now in 3 breakout rooms, and we're really keen to hear from those of you who have been with us for the week, who haven't been presenting, but I'm sure have a lot of reflections to add. So the theme of the breakout rooms for 15 minutes is the challenges and the opportunities provided by the Learning City concept to you in your own context. Whatever your organization is, if you're in a university, a lifelong learning center, any organization, what might the Learning Cities concept and the network of learning cities in the way that it is organized, what might that offer to you? And then to personalize that, just to ask you to reflect on one thing you understand better, having been with us during the week. And then the really most important question, which we will ask for feedback on when we come back. What will you do? What will you apply? So we've heard all sorts of different ideas, perspectives. Is there anything that you feel you can go and implement in your own context, every context being different? So I'll ask Karma to divide us up into 3 rooms. And in each room, I'll ask you to consider those questions, and we'll take 10 minutes or so at the end to hear back from each of the 3 rooms.
I'm going to do it now. It's the first time I do it, so bear with me for a second. I'm sure that I can do it. Okay.
Thanks, Karma.
Dennis, would you say the questions again, please?
I'm going to put them in the chat, so if everyone can check the chat first off, but also I will just repeat them again. So we're looking at the challenges and the opportunities provided by the Learning City concept, and then for yourself, what do you understand better, and what will you apply? What will you do? How might you take this forward? And that's always the challenging one, the transfer from understanding to action, but that is where the teeth of the matter comes in. So again, the 3 rooms, depending on who's in them, you can select somebody to give some of the perspectives that you've heard during the 15 minutes of breakout. So I'm just going to put those questions in the chat so you can check them there. Is that okay with everyone? Great stuff. Okay, so we'll see you later once the breakout rooms are finished. Thanks, everyone.
Hola, Pascal. ¿Me oyes?
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Bien.
Si quieres te explico lo del lunes.
Pardon?
If you want, I can tell you about Monday.
Okay. Yeah. Please. Yeah.
Yes, the thing is that we were doing a bit of an analysis what the number of days we have in projects this coming year, and we have far too many for 3 people working on projects.
Okay.
So, and in parallel, we received an application, a curriculum from somebody who is an expert on marketing or has a degree on marketing. Wow. And she wants to do some work on projects. So then I had like a...
Yeah, I can see.
I thought, oh.
I get it. But because it's someone who could really
exactly
help us with, great.
Yes, and I thought that it would be actually perfect, because if we decide to move into a diversification area, this person could actually do a lot of work on that. So my recommendation to the steering committee is to take the opportunity that we have money this year to get also this person on board.
Yeah.
And I calculate that more or less you could be doing like 65% or 70% time on projects and the rest on UCAN.
No, but that would be perfect because it's really what we miss, someone who can work on institutional projects. But you know, I'm wondering if you should not drop us a line
about this
and send us the CV, something like this to the committee. So at least me, I would, it would also, if we need to argue, I'm sure people are going to accept it, but I think it can give more weight.
Yeah, maybe what I could do is to send a message and to say, please look into this document before Monday.
Yeah, something like this.
Something like this.
You could sort of summarize, to say, actually, you want to talk about an addition to the team, and we have this great CV and opportunity. Could be a good idea.
And then I thought that she can start because it's going to be much easier looking into our general communication strategy with members.
No, I mean, I can only agree with these sides. I've always thought whatever we want to do, we need people to work also on, institutional projects, not only the research. So that would be good news. And, with someone,
yes.
Everything would become easier, I think, even our discussions and all that.
It's just that it's actually an addition to what I already said in the last meeting. And I thought, well, before I give the offer letter, I need to tell everybody.
No, it's good you do it. It's good you do it. But I think it's also the right time to invest.
So Pascal, what do you think about the Open Fora so far?
But I think, I was present without really being present, but I think it's been very well moderated. I think great team. Attendance is maybe a bit weak, and one thing that I think is during my week I will. For example, I will not ask people to introduce themselves every time because myself, I find it frustrating spending 10 or even 20 minutes on this.
I was just thinking that it would be good maybe to have a poll ready for the beginning.
Yeah, or
they can actually
or something I think I might ask you is to give me the list of the participants before.
Yes, I can do that.
So I can give an overview, but and I think between us, I think sometimes it's a bit longer because I think I will make it much shorter, at least the short presentation.
Yes.
Because it's a lot of time. It's very interesting, but it's a lot of time.
To be quite honest, it doesn't actually match with what Seamus' idea
Yeah.
was originally, because he was talking about 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I will really try to do it
Yeah.
shorter, so it's easier for people.
I think
And
half an hour would be nice.
yeah, exactly,
In total.
exactly, in total half an hour. But today I found it interesting. I think I'm gonna steal the idea for my own last day, you know, to ask the people to give a key message and what they've learned. I think this is a great idea to start at least. And maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll also ask you to do some breakout rooms or something like this.
Well, now I'm learning. It's the first time I do this, but it's very easy.
No, but from an organizational point of view, it's perfect. Congratulations. And I think it's really super how you do that. One day before, you send us a link, but you send it again just before the session, because this is generally when I remember.
Yes,
that I have to connect.
Yes, I think that is needed, because otherwise you forget, and there are so many things that.
Yeah, no, definitely. By the way, do you know if Peter registered my speaker Van Balen?
I'm not sure, because Monse has been taking care of the.
Okay,
if I look at it.
Yeah, look at it, and if not, if she could send me, if you already have the link to the sessions.
Yes, I do actually.
Yeah, so if you can send them all the links for the, I don't know if it's always the same, but if you could send me the link for at least the day when he's speaking.
There will be one link for the master class, one link for the 3 days in the middle, and one link for the panel.
Okay, so I would need the link at least of the, but so if I could get the 3 links, because I'm gonna send them directly to Peter.
Okay.
Because, you know, sometimes I think he is a relatively well-recognized professor, huh? And so maybe for him it's too much to ask him to go, you know, how they can be. Huh? Okay. Maybe for him it's too much to go and register. So just to make sure he shows up, I'd like to send him the links.
Maybe what you could is to ask him if he would be interested in any other.
Yeah, I will, but
because then I can do it manually, you see.
Yeah, exactly. But if you or your colleague can send me the links to the sessions of the 3 weeks, the 3 links.
Yes.
Then I will I will send them to him. So I'm sure he's gonna show up.
No problem.
I don't remember.
I'll do that later.
I don't remember when he's speaking. Is it the Thursday?
Let me. Oh no, I don't have it here.
Is it the Wednesday?
I think it's Wednesday. Yes, I think it's in the middle, isn't it?
Okay. And yes, and the Tuesday we have 2 people. That's right. Yeah. So in case there's a problem, one of them could always do it on the could always replace him, because
Susan Bennett.
Yeah, she's there all the time.
She's there every day.
I'm impressed by the participations of the Americans.
Yes, I told
it's really great.
Yes, I told Seamus that for next year we should do it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because there is nobody from Asia.
But I think it's really a great addition, and they are always very participative in all this. It's really
very
nice to have them.
Also.
No, I think they are great.
So I think it's very nice, and I quite like it. Yes. So. Well, that's it. I thought I had the opportunity to talk to you.
Yeah, great. You did well. I didn't dare to do it because I never know who is looking at me. No.
Okay, so let's say goodbye, and I'll talk to you later. I'll send you this email to you.
Yeah, great. Thanks a lot. Huh?
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Technology is amazing, really, isn't it?
I don't think anybody else realises what they had to do because we're the only group back.
Yeah. So Susan, this could be one of our learnings for the big group.
Yes.
We discovered how to return from the breakout rooms. I might send Dennis a message to tell him that we're back.
We might have gone into an alternative.
Seamus, they should have received an automatic call now.
Yeah. Do they realize they can come back by pressing the blue button?
I don't know, but I've closed the...
Oh yeah, they're coming back now.
Yes.
That's okay.
I closed the rooms anyway.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hello and welcome.
Hello.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, everyone's popping back onto the screen there, so I'll just give everyone a chance to reconnect digitally before we ask for some ideas that were generated in the discussions. Just a brief few ideas, just to welcome a couple of people who joined us after we did our round of introductions. Dr. Dunkel, another voice from the States, you're welcome. Coming in from, I think it's probably a helicopter you're in, I'd say there. And
no, it is just before 7 a.m. and I'm running to go teach my classes. I apologize for my hair. Everyone else looks so put together.
Not at all. We're all real. That's the main thing. And Valentina, I didn't get a chance to welcome you earlier. Lovely to see you. So we've had not a long time, but we had a nice opportunity to exchange and to hear particularly from people who have been with us during the week, but weren't presenting, and they have some reflections and thoughts. So we've gathered them. So we might just take them in turn. I will start with our own group. So Carmel, who presented on the festival and celebrations earlier in the week and research. We had a brilliant discussion. I thought it was very heartwarming and inspiring. So Carmel, do you want to give the others just some flavour of some of the thoughts of the group?
Yeah, just to summarize it and maybe in one sentence, because I see again that we have very short time left, is the main message of our group's discussion was that throughout this week, through everything that we learned from each other, we realized that raising awareness and being empowered are inseparable. And the more we get empowered of each other's lessons and learning, the more in the role of university we can empower the community. And then this way, well, that was maybe only my message, but you can add also your thoughts to this. And yes, and building connections for more enhanced cooperation and research, definitely in the future.
Yeah, thank you, Carmel. Yeah, there was a thread that went through all of the different thoughts. So again, some of you may like to share perspectives, particular perspectives afterwards, but we'll just get the feedback from the three groups first. So the second group, we all divided up, so I don't know who might like to speak from one of the other groups. I just asked Joni, whatever group you're in. Joni, do you want to either give feedback yourself or identify somebody from your group?
Yeah, so there was a good conversation in my group. I don't know if anyone wants to volunteer to speak their points. I seemed to be very quiet in the chat. It was mainly, I think, John, Elizabeth, Dr. Dunkel, and Siobhan were speaking, but a common theme that came up was the challenges that learning cities face, and particularly it seemed in the US. I know it's probably the same for many other countries, but a common theme that came up was the lack of funding for universities in the US to get incentivized to join Learning City. Sorry, I'm just looking at notes here now, so I'm just flicking through them. Yeah, so there's not much incentive for faculty of universities to get involved, and that's a big challenge I think in most universities, and also it's getting people, encouraging people to join learning cities. And at the moment, there doesn't seem to be, it seems to be quite small numbers in the learning cities around the world, and that seems to be what Elizabeth actually mentioned, was that there's small numbers involved, which and too little income. So it's a lot of work trying to get people involved and to organize or to generate income. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm reading notes now. So if anyone else wants to expand on that point, you're more willing to, or you're more than welcome to.
I hop in there. I thought John spoke very eloquently on that, actually. And just if just before we go to John, just say another part of what we talked about was the global pandemic and how that's impacting us within the university setting, and personally how it's having an effect on people. Eric spoke to his work in promoting sustainable development goals, and I suppose on the flip side of all our challenging chat, we talked about the opportunities and how the likes of this coming together on Zoom to thrash out problems is just so useful and so helpful. John, you might want to say something there. Oh, he's gone quiet.
No, he's coming, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, were you asking me? Yeah, I think that one of the things I mentioned, and just I think we should throw out there, we can't have this conversation over the week forgetting there's a global pandemic and all of the ramifications of that. And one of the things I said was, you know, we want to try and stop some people getting their institutions and idea normal, because normal didn't work, and we need to think outside the box. There's a lot of negativity about the COVID, but also the opportunities like this technology brings forward. But also we saw in my hometown, ordinary people helping each other, and I want to build on that. It's small, but it's something we need to build on, because there's a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks, John. So the third group, again, Seamus, maybe if you're in that group, you might give some feedback or identify one or other of the group that might speak also.
Yeah, I think my colleagues can chip in, because we had a really useful conversation, I think. We probably didn't stick as rigidly to the script as we should have. But I think what was interesting about the group was that we had two existing learning cities, Wolverhampton and Cork, represented, and we had three potential learning cities from Susan, Valentina, and Luca. And I suppose the big thing was, where do you start? How do you start? You know, how do you make this thing happen? Which is a big challenge. And I think, you know, echoing the point, I suppose, that you know, the others have said, the opportunity we've had to come together this week is important in relation to that, and the networks and the connections that we've made. So I think, you know, I shared your email address, Dennis, for instance, with everybody. So I expect a few emails. But
great, please do.
I think you know, the idea that, you know, everybody doesn't have to start in the same place. Resources was mentioned as well. That was actually mentioned as well. Where did the resources come from? There were issues around, you know, personnel changing in the cities. You know, Wolverhampton mentioned this, and we have the same problem in Cork, or opportunity, as the case may be, where the mayor changes every year, and key people in institutions change. And you know, we had that big issue where but I think, and I just mentioned, the MOU in Cork was useful. And it's a useful tool, because it gets the institutional buy-in to say, yes, as an institution, we're buying into this. So whoever the Lord Mayor is, or whoever the rector of the university is, or whoever the institution has bought into it. But I don't think that challenge goes away. I don't know. Do one of the others want to say other things that struck them from our conversation? Yeah, Mary. Yeah, please rescue me.
Just an observation, really, from the feedback from the first two groups as well, and that is we shouldn't get too caught up in this word learning cities, because actually really all it is about bringing existing activity together and existing groups together who are already doing this work but who aren't joined up, and then creating a focus for it. So whether you just meet informally, and then from that you then start to innovate. You don't build a learning city, and it's not something that's fixed and big and clever or anything. It's about just being smart and exercising what you've already got to create conversations, in my view. And so that should be happening anyway. If we've got passion for learning as well as formal education, then it's about bringing, for us, the Town's Women's Guild together with the University of the Third Age, any kind of local group who does learning for disabled groups, etc. And they're really keen to talk to one another in just the same way we have been. So please don't get hung up on this word of learning city. I think the UNESCO model of learning city, where we have certain parameters we have to meet and so on, is a fairly sophisticated thing to do, and you should only aim for that when you get there. But there are plenty of other ways of engaging through things like this. And we mentioned the Global Learning Festival, which 2 cities in Australia pulled together in 6 weeks, and every city just had to present one thing, and we did it online. And it created wonderful new conversations for us, because we could then go and talk to different groups about partnering with other countries for refugee and migrant support, etc. So I think just it's a matter of keeping all this in perspective. It's a journey, it's a process, it's about partnerships, and it's about existing things, which then turn into new things. So I would make a plea for that.
Thanks, Mary. Susan, I think you were unmuting yourself, so I thought you were going to come in as well. Did you want to say something? Yeah.
Oh, thank you for noticing. But really just echoing what Mary and Seamus had said, you know, we did talk about funding, and I thought Seamus put it very well when he said it's almost like having a party and asking people, okay, what are you bringing to the potluck party? You know, everybody brings something. And so everybody has a resource, and it's just really recognizing what it is and being willing to bring it. So, so that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Yeah, and thanks for that group. Again, we've always rolled over a little bit beyond the hour, and we've done that again today. And I think if people are okay with that, we won't keep you much longer. I do want to come back to my own group and to pick up on some of the comments that people made, because I think they would also speak to what has come back from the rest of you. One comment that was made by Carmel, was shared by something Christina said. It was a combination of being an active citizen in our own roles. So while we have roles, we have responsibilities, we may have a part to play in teams or in organizations. In ourselves, we are active citizens as well. And there was a strong sense in our group that you have to stand up for what you believe in our own ways, in our lives and in our organizational lives. And sometimes that's about not being pushed back when a new idea isn't widely understood. So that was one thing I did want to reflect. The SDGs came up as well. Christina mentioned them, that they're so useful as a way of working and moving forward. And then lastly, one of my own last comments, I suppose, thinking about things for the whole week. I have come back to the start of the circle. One of the first comments I made on Monday is that the Learning City concept gives you permission in whatever role you are to have an open conversation with anybody, because we all share the places we live. And it can be, as Don said in our group, a way of reaching out to community. But you're not doing it with maybe wearing the university label or the city council label. You're saying, we are all sharing this city. We all are stakeholders. We all share this community, and can we make it a better community for all of us? And learning is one way to do that. How can we do that? And as Mary said, there are so many ways to go once you start with that question. And really, I suppose, for those of you that haven't worked a lot with UNESCO, one of the biggest learnings for me in the early days was this big framework all around the world. And we were trying to implement it in Cork, and we had a conference call with the UNESCO team, with Raoul and his team at that time. And the message I took away was, okay, they just want us to do this our way. So whatever way we can make this a reality in Cork is perfectly fine for UNESCO. It was a real revelation that they didn't have a sense of monitoring or checking or making sure we fit into a particular box. It was really empowering for us, and that's what I would say to all of you. The concept of a learning city And it includes a learning town, a learning village, a learning neighborhood. It's not just the city, but that concept just is an open invitation to have conversations and to do things. And I would love to see us all just take that forward in our own ways. Those of us that have been working on these ideas for a while, we're certainly not finished. We've made mistakes along the way. It doesn't always run smooth, and it's an ongoing process, and we're always learning, just like in life. On that note, I would like to thank everybody. Thank you all for being part of this conversation. We're creating a new learning community online this week. Thanks to UCAN for creating the space for us all to be part of it. And thanks to all the panelists and the speakers. You brought your thoughts, your reflections, your experiences to bear on our conversations, and it's really, really appreciated. I want to ask Karma now to tell you about what's happening next.
Karma, Dennis, can I just interject just before, because I just wanted to also personally thank you. Dennis works for Cork Learning City, so this was above and beyond the call of duty. So he's committed to all of the 5 days and to the planning and all of the rest of it. You know, so Dennis, a big thank you to you from me and from everybody else for committing to this, because without your input, this would not be possible at all. So really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for this, Dennis. As always, fantastic colleague and partner and friend, and you know, I greatly appreciate you, and I think everybody in the network greatly appreciates you. You're a unique and special person. So thank you.
This is a wee business, Seamus, as you know well. This is a wee project. Joni and yourself and Karma and the team and Balázs, you know, it's all we. I was very happy to play a role, and it's been a really interesting and a new experience for me. So the thanks are appreciated, but they're not needed, and they're shared with everybody that made the thing happen.
They are needed, and they have to be acknowledged. And also, I suppose, Dennis, just to thank you for going with this idea. It was an adventurous idea. You know, Karma and Balázs and Pascal and Eric, and I think, I don't know if there were some others, Ule was there earlier, and other members of the steering committee. So it was taking a little bit of a risk, I suppose, but I think it's paid off very well, and we've extended our networks, and it's brought UCAN to a lot of people it wouldn't have brought UCAN to, and vice versa. And also, as you mentioned, Dennis, we asked a lot of people to down tools and come and join us for the week. And some people had to get up at crazy hours in the morning. All our friends from the US had to get up at bizarre hours, the middle of the night, and you know, they stuck with it for the whole week, and they contributed a massive amount to this. And I think, you know, there's such a fantastic feel-good lesson of the transatlantic collaboration and cooperation, you know, so we're all in the same world together, and I think it's just been really, really wonderful experience. So thank you, and thank all the other people who joined in all the week. Many of you engaged with Learning Cities for the first time, and hopefully it's the start of a big adventure, and we work together. So thanks. Sorry for interjecting, but I just want these things.
On behalf of UCAN, I think we have to thank Karma and the Secretariat as well. They did a great job. I think it's so good that we have a significant, good quality group in Barcelona who helps such initiatives to come true. So thank you very much, Karma, and the group.
But don't say goodbye yet, Balázs, because I want to talk.
Yeah, I know.
I'm also very talkative, like Seamus. So can I say a couple of things? So I also want to thank Seamus and Dennis. You've been really very good, and everything is worked out well thanks to you. So thank you, and thank all the keynote speakers. You are wonderful. You are very interesting. You have a lot of important things to tell us, and to learn, to tell us how, things that we need to learn. So thank you very much. Please don't forget to send your presentations, because we want to share them in the website. But basically what I wanted to do now is to share something with you, because we finished this, this week. We finished the Learning Cities week, but next week we'll have a new topic. And next week we will talk about higher education, world-based learning in a changing world. The moderator will be our Vice President, Eva Sendan, from Fern University in Hagen. And on Monday, we'll have Carol Cosley, Professor Carol Cosley from Middlesex University in the UK. And then we will have 3 days of short presentations like we had this week. One of them, it will be by UCAN. Francesca Uras will present our work in one of our current projects, UNILAB. And on Friday, we will have also a panel like today. And we will try to see what is the future of world-based learning now that we have a world that is changing. So I would like to invite all of you to think about joining us next week again and contribute or listen or whatever. I hope to see you very much, all of you. And that's all I wanted to say. So I hope to see you next week.
Thank you, Karma. And I think there's been a request sent to you to share contact details. So those of us that have been part of sharing with our own networks, we may also add those to the circulation list. But I would ask everyone to make sure that the contact details are with Karma. And unless somebody doesn't want them shared, if you want to put up your hand now if you don't want your contact details shared. We have a very good chair for these meetings in Cork. She's the Chief Executive of Cork City Council, and she takes silence as agreement. So if people are silent, then she takes it as agreement. So thank you. Balázs, maybe just ask you to formally close our week of considering the role of universities, learning cities, and lifelong learning.
Thank you very much. On behalf of UCAN, on behalf of the steering committee of UCAN members, let me thank you very much for your participation and engagement in the first week. And thank you for the initiator, Professor Seamus Atuma and his team for developing this first week program from academic point of view, from practitioners' point of view. I think it was a very good signal for the start of this open forum, and let us convene back together on the other topics like Karma just mentioned. And thank you very much for your participation and involvement in this. Thank you to all of you. Take good care, and I wish you every good to you. Thank you indeed. Bye-bye.